Hey everybody, this is CJ Nelson from the Twister's Cookbook, your guide to twisted living. And welcome to the April 2026 edition of the Twisted 5 News Update. Number 1, what is happening with our 660s? There's been some posts recently on social media about Betallic possibly not selling 660s anymore. Sempertex manufacture them. Betallic is the U.S. distributor of that. If that relationship's always been confusing to you, there's a great episode of the Bright Balloon podcast with Sarah Meyer that explains it. But nobody cares about that. What's happening with our 660s? There's a post saying that 660s would soon no longer be available. Now, it was taken down because things are still kind of up in the air on how things will happen. We don't know if they're going to be available in the United States or if they're going to only be available in assortments or only a couple in single colors. Because 660s take up a lot of space. They might not have a spot in the production line. So we want to make sure that they keep that spot. So if you rely on 660s for your entertainment business, make sure that you, one, stock up. So clear some space in your freezer and stock up on 660s. Number 2, reach out to your distributors and or reach out to Betallic, specifically mentioning how much you love 660s. Now, if you don't work with 660s, why not? You should check out Dave Brenn's Patreon account and look at his backpacks. Okay, his backpacks, in my opinion, is probably one of the top 5 greatest tutorials ever made. And I use them all the time. They're definitely worth having. Yes, it takes a bit of an effort to inflate them, but they're totally worth having. And I personally will be crushed if we lose 660s. So make sure your voice is heard so we can keep our 660s. Number 2, convention news. As we last reported, Project 72 is going to be happening in November. It is going to overlap and conflict with Bling Jam. Now, this was not intentional. Steve Jones addressed this in his Step Chat episode, which is his weekly video update for everything for people who attend Float. Things for Project 72 were planned, booked, deposits paid well before Bling Jam announced their move from July to November. So they're going to conflict. And while it's great to have a new convention, it is kind of sad that we have to choose. Speaking of Project 72, Steve is putting updates about it in his Step Chat. Those occur on Sunday night. And you can catch the live or past episodes on the Float Convention Facebook page or Instagram as well. And you can fast forward through there and you'll see the little graphic for Project 72 in the top corner, and you can listen in. If you're interested in sponsoring stuff for Project 72, all that information is going to come out here in early May. So keep an eye out on that. So we're already talking about Bling Jam. Bling Jam had some big news recently. They're moving to a new hotel. They're moving to Sam's Town Hotel and Gambling Hall. Now, this is a big change because it is not right on Fremont Street. For those people who went there because they got that Vegas experience of being right on Fremont Street, you'll just have to take an Uber, a shuttle, trolley, unicycle, Cody Williams, I'm looking at you, and make your way over to Fremont Street or over to the Strip. But it looks like a great new place, very clean. It's got several restaurants on site, and in its atrium, it's got this huge indoor garden called the Mystic Falls Park. So it looks like an exciting change. You have to do a little bit more transportation to go see the sights and sounds of Vegas, but location is always secondary with these things. It's the people that bring us to them, and everything else is just, gravy on top. All right, number 3, new releases. Not a lot's been going on in the tutorial world right now. We haven't had anything big. However, Kimberly Hill snuck in a single tutorial release while I wasn't looking, and it is her award-winning Shark Bracelet headband. This guy is awesome. I did them a couple times recently, and it's a fresh take on how to do a shark. You can definitely put a surfer's leg sticking out of its mouth. The adult I made it for loved it. Lots of quotes about we need a bigger boat. So you can check it out. Link below. It's Pay Hip Merry Balloons. It's 5 pounds or around $7. So make sure you check that out. She also has the clip art available for it too. Once upon a time, we had 2 podcasts for balloon twisters. We had the Jam Room podcast by Andrew Weaver, and then we had the Balloon Artist podcast by Zivy Kivy. Jam Room podcast last episode was in 2020. I know, sad, right? But there's hope. There's been some chatter. There's been some discussion about the Jam Room podcast, and it seems like Andy Weaver might be considering doing some fresh episodes, which would be awesome because he's got a great voice and he does good interviews. We also had the Balloon Artist podcast by Zivy Kivy, which had a lot more structure to it, but its last episode was in 2025. But now we have our own podcast again. We have the VisionAir Talks. There's more than 10 episodes available. The focus kind of seems to be on like bigger builds and things like that. But there's more than 10 episodes. It's a video episode, and the audio version is on Spotify. Not yet available on Apple Podcasts, but there's information down below. So be sure to check it out. Give it your support so we can keep having more podcasts, because the decorators have theirs, magicians have, well, lots of them. It'd be nice if we have one for us too. All right, so number 5. You might have noticed I did some redecorating here on my work desk, and I added my Balloon Magic magazines into binders. So I made binder labels. These are 1-inch, just 3-ring binders. So I got binder labels. I got new covers coming. They're going to have pictures of each different cover of Balloon Magic, and on the inside, I will eventually have a list of everything that's put in there by issue. So I love these things. I absolutely loved. It was my favorite thing in the world was getting my Balloon Magic magazine in the mail, and I dearly miss them. I'm still bitter that they didn't go to hard copies up to 100 issues, because stopping at 93 is driving my OCD insane. But this is a great way to protect and preserve your collection. These are still great resources because a variety of artists have worked in them. And for seasonal stuff, it's still one of the best places to get tutorials from. So it's a great piece of history. It's a great investment, and you want to protect yours as well. So if you want your own copies of the spines and the covers, you can DM me. And as soon as I finish these up, I will send out the files so you can print your own and preserve your copies of Balloon Magic magazine. Well, thanks for joining me here on the Twisted 5 News Update. Hope to see you next month. I'm CJ Nelson, your guide to Twisted Living.